Have you ever had a friend who seemed to be your biggest fan, but something just felt off? Someone who cheered you on, but whose applause felt a little too loud, a little too hollow? That was my story with Alex. He was my #1 supporter, my confidant, the person who knew every detail of my dream project, a huge public art installation I'd been pouring my heart into for months. He knew my hopes, my fears, and every single insecurity I had about it. Looking back, the signs were there, scattered like breadcrumbs I was too busy to notice. It started small. A crucial email to a supplier I thought I'd sent, but somehow it was sitting in my drafts, making me miss a key deadline. I brushed it off as stress. Then, a client called, completely confused about the project specs. I figured it was just a miscommunication. When a critical design file suddenly became corrupted the night before a review, I cursed my bad luck and my old laptop. It was a pattern of misfortune, a string of unlucky breaks that seemed to follow me everywhere. I never once suspected the source of my bad luck was sitting right next to me, offering a sympathetic shoulder to cry on. The unraveling began with a single tiny thread. I was clearing out my sent emails when I stumbled upon a forwarded message. It was an email I'd sent to Alex, detailing my final presentation strategy. He had forwarded it to a mutual acquaintance, a rival really, with a single chilling comment. "Here's how she plans to do it. You know what to do." My blood ran cold. Suddenly, every unlucky break replayed in my mind, but this time, in crystal clear focus. The unsent email, the confused client, the corrupted file, it all clicked into place. It wasn't bad luck. It was sabotage. The person I trusted most had been systematically trying to tear me down. I didn't scream. I didn't cry. I just felt a strange, cold calm wash over me. I arranged to meet Alex for coffee, just like we always did. I didn't raise my voice. I simply laid out the facts, one by one, watching the color drain from his face. I showed him the forwarded email. I mentioned the exact time the file was corrupted, a time he was supposedly helping me on my laptop. There was no escape. And then, the truth came out, not in an apology, but in a torrent of jealousy and resentment he'd been hiding for years. He felt I didn't deserve the spotlight. He thought he was more talented, more deserving. Hearing those words didn't break me. It did the opposite. It lit a fire in me. All the hurt, the confusion, the self-doubt he had so carefully cultivated, it all morphed into pure, unadulterated fuel. I went home and worked like I never had before. I rebuilt my presentation from scratch, stronger and more innovative than the original. I double-checked every detail, trusted no one but myself, and poured every ounce of that betrayal into my work. The day of the final presentation arrived. The room was packed with city officials, investors, and the public. I saw Alex in the crowd, a smug little smile on his face, waiting for me to crash and burn. I took a deep breath, walked onto that stage, and I didn't just give a presentation. I performed. I shared my vision with a passion and clarity I didn't know I possessed. I spoke from the heart, my voice steady and strong. I laid out every detail of the installation, not as a plan, but as an inevitable reality. The sabotaged elements he thought would trip me up, I used them as examples of challenges overcome, of resilience. The applause was deafening. It was real this time. The project was approved on the spot. As I took my final bow, my eyes found Alex in the crowd. His smug smile was gone, replaced by a look of stunned disbelief. In that moment, I didn't need to say a word. My success was my response. Proving him wrong wasn't just about finishing the project. It was about reclaiming my own power and showing him and myself that no amount of sabotage could ever extinguish a fire that was truly meant to burn. That experience taught me a hard but invaluable lesson. Sometimes, the greatest betrayals can lead to our greatest triumphs. The push from a false friend can be just the thing you need to learn how to truly fly on your own. So, How do you turn such a devastating experience into a source of strength? It starts with the quiet rebuilding. After the confrontation, after the initial shock, the temptation is to wallow in despair. But the real revelation isn't the betrayal itself. It's the clarity that comes with it. The problem was never my inadequacy. It was someone else's malice. And with that knowledge, I could finally begin to heal. I cut Alex out of my life completely. No dramatic posts, no final angry text. Just silence. I turned my focus inward. Not on the broken friendship, but on my broken confidence. I started small. I revisited old skills I'd let slide, practiced techniques I was insecure about, and slowly, piece by piece, I rebuilt my craft from the ground up. This was my quiet work, done in the shadows, away from any prying eyes. Every small success, every tiny breakthrough, was a brick I laid in my new foundation of self-worth. I wasn't doing it to prove anyone wrong anymore. I was doing it to prove myself right. I was proving that I was capable, that I was talented, and that my value was never dependent on someone else's approval. This quiet rebuilding is the most critical phase. It's where you learn to trust your own intuition again. Before, Alex's helpful criticism had become a voice in my head, sowing doubt at every turn. Now, I was learning to listen to my own gut. I started surrounding myself with a new circle, not of cheerleaders, but of genuine collaborators, people who offered constructive feedback, who celebrated my wins without a hint of envy, and who weren't afraid to challenge me to be better. This is how you build a true support system, one based on mutual respect, not on a fragile power dynamic. The public triumph, when it came, felt different from what I'd imagined. There was no big, dramatic, in-your-face moment. It was my next big project, a year after the first one. I stepped into the spotlight again, but this time, I felt no nerves, no fear of failure. I felt a quiet, unshakable competence. I knew my work was solid because I had built it with my own 2 hands, from the ground up. I delivered my part with a calm confidence that resonated more powerfully than any loud declaration ever could. I saw him again, in the audience, that former friend. And this time, there was no smugness, no anger, just a blank, stunned look. He didn't understand how I'd come back stronger without his help. He didn't understand because he couldn't see the months of silent, diligent work. He couldn't see the internal shift from seeking validation to owning my power. And that was the true victory. It wasn't about a public reckoning. It was an unspoken triumph, a success that spoke for itself, leaving the saboteur alone with the echoes of his own failed attempt to dim a light he could never truly understand. The aftermath of an experience like this is where the real growth happens. It's about turning poison into medicine. The betrayal forced me to develop a skill I desperately needed, setting firm boundaries. I learned to say no. I learned that not everyone deserves access to my dreams and my vulnerabilities. My inner circle became smaller, but infinitely stronger. I learned to trust that gut feeling, that little whisper that says, "Something's not right here." That intuition is your most powerful defense. It's the gatekeeper to your peace and your progress. Today, I am more successful, more fulfilled, and more at peace than I ever was when Alex was in my life. The sabotage, the betrayal. In a strange twist of fate, it became one of the best things that ever happened to me. It was a painful, fiery catalyst that forced me to evolve. It burned away the dead weight of a toxic friendship and cleared the path for authentic success and genuine connections. It taught me that my worth is non-negotiable and that my potential is determined by me and me alone. If you're going through something similar, remember this. They can try to sabotage your project, but they can never sabotage your spirit. Use that fire. Let it forge you into someone stronger than you ever imagined. Thank you so much for watching and for letting me share this part of my journey with you. If this story resonated, I'd be so grateful if you'd like this video and subscribe to the channel for more content. Take care of yourselves and trust your light.